Hi everyone. In this unit, we're going to study collocations in English. To know an English word means far more than knowing its definition or its Chinese equivalents. Other important information to learn about a word includes the level of formality of the word, its collocations, how it behaves in specific contexts, and what company it keeps, etc. Today, our topic will be focused on the company an English word keeps, namely its collocations. To be able to use words effectively, it is very important to know what other words they collocate with. So now, let's first look at what collocations are. When two or more words show up together frequently, we may call one of them a collocate of the other word or words. So collocation refers to the frequent occurrence of two or more words within a short space of each other in a text. For instance, the word wash is found to often show up together with basin, shave, detergent, scrub, shampoo, dishes, pots, and thoroughly. Thus, we may say these words collocate with wash, or they are the collocates of wash. And the relationship between these words and the word wash is called collocation. Why are collocations important? There is a large number of collocations in English. Without them, one cannot use or understand English properly. Collocations enable us to express ourselves more readily, smoothly, and effectively. When speaking or writing English, we don't string single words together one by one. We have available to us a large number of ready-made building blocks, which we call collocations, to simplify our work. With their help, our language can become more coherent, fluent, comprehensible, and predictable. Collocations help our language sound like that of native speakers. The connection between collocates is often very strong, so that it would sound strange to replace one of the words for another with similar meaning. For example, the term fast food is a widely accepted collocation. Quick and fast are synonyms, but if you swap the word fast for quick and say quick food, people would have no idea that you are referring to a takeaway restaurant. Similarly, if you changed the word food for meal and say fast meal, you might also receive a strange look from a native speaker. Collocations also help us understand language efficiently. Word combinations or collocations are memorized as units, and the meanings for the units are retrieved and processed as a whole. This reduces processing load and increases processing speed. That's why we understand what people say easily, and sometimes we know what people are going to say before they even say the words. Next, let's look briefly at how collocations help language learners. So why should you, as learners of English, pay special attention to collocations? Not knowing enough collocations may mean that whenever you want to express yourself, you have to try and find the right words first and then string them together one by one. It not only takes time, but it's also likely that you produce awkward, even unlikely word combinations. Collocations enable you to express yourselves without thinking, and they help you distinguish between idiomatically appropriate and inappropriate expressions. Learning to use collocations can contribute to the authenticity of your English. For instance, you will be able to say fast food rather than quick food or rapid food, or a quick shower rather than a short or fast shower. Collocations can help you in the following ways. They help you distinguish apparently synonymous words. They facilitate memory. They are essential for fluency in both spoken and written language. They support language processing and comprehension. They form the basis for the development of creative language. They make you a member of a certain linguistic group. In summary, collocation is of great importance to the ultimate success in language learning. Being aware of collocations means that you begin to learn words in large groups or chunks. This leads to fluency and efficient processing of a language. So, what types of collocations are there? Collocations can be classified into strong and weak ones. Strong collocations are those with words that can hardly be replaced by other words. This means they are two words that almost always go together. The connection between them is so strong that there are very few other acceptable options to say the same thing. For example, turn on a light is a strong collocation. Using other synonyms to replace turn on will make the expression sound very strange and unnatural. Phrases like start a light, activate a light may not make sense to native speakers. In some cases, perhaps they will be able to guess what you mean. For example, if you say, I did a cup of coffee, they probably can guess that you mean, I made a cup of coffee. But the expression will sound strange to them. Weak collocations include words that can be replaced by many other alternatives. The expression very interesting is commonly used, but the collocation is weak. Extremely interesting and really interesting are also acceptable collocations. Along the strong and weak collocation continuum, three major categories of collocations can be defined: free combinations, restricted collocations, and idioms. Free combinations are weaker collocations whose components can easily be replaced by other words. Restricted collocations are stronger, and the collocates are not easily replaced by other alternatives. Idioms are fixed phrases that rarely have any other alternatives. Some examples for each category are given below. A. Free combinations. Collocations like run a risk or make an attempt are examples of free combinations. This is because run and make are high-frequency verbs, so they naturally co-occur in various contexts with many other words. However, the relationship between the words is not very rigid. We can say run a store, run a race, make an effort, or make a decision, etc. Secondly, there is restricted collocations. These are word combinations that aren't easily altered, and they can involve the following parts of speech. 1. Adjective non-collocations. For instance, we say strong coffee, not thick coffee. Heavy traffic, not crowded traffic. Express meal, not quick meal. Low price, not cheap price. 2. Non-collocations. For example, we say bars of soap, not bricks of soap. A round of applause, not a band of applause. A swarm of insects, not a herd of insects. A herd of cattle, not a group of cattle. 3. Non-verb collocations. We generally say prices fall, not prices descend. A lion roars, not a lion shouts. The wind howls, not the wind screams. 4. Verb non-collocations. we say make the bed, not do the bed. Do the shopping, not make the shopping. Put on clothes, not place on clothes. 5. Verb-adverb collocations. We generally say drive safely, not drive securely. Choose wisely, not choose smartly. Respond quickly, not respond swiftly. 6. Adverb-adjective collocations. For instance, we say partly cloudy, not slightly cloudy. Happily married, not gladly married. Highly generous, not greatly generous. 7. Adverb-verb collocations. For instance, we often say steadily rise, not stably rise. And we often use readily, reluctantly, openly, etc. to modify admit. Lastly, there are idioms. An idiom is a group of words that function as a fixed unit with a special meaning. For example, have your feet on the ground is an idiom meaning to be sensible. Set the ball rolling, call it a day, beat around the bush are all examples of idioms. Next, let's look at some examples of common collocation errors made by Chinese learners. A major cause for Chinese English learners to produce unidiomatic expressions is that they are not familiar with some of the typical English collocations. They occasionally have to invent phrases based on Chinese grammar when they want to express themselves. Doing so causes learners to produce expressions that sound weird and are even grammatically incorrect. Look at the following examples. Have you ever talked in similar ways? 1. Improper adjective noun collocation. For example, the big rain or the big wind ruined my plan. In English, adjectives like strong, stiff, fierce often co-occur with wind, and heavy, torrential, steady often co-occur with rain. Native speakers of English would seldom say big wind or big rain. These are typical Chinese collocations. 2. Improper noun-noun collocations. For example, Figure 1 shows the development trend or direction of sales between 2010 and 2015. Native speakers of English seldom say development trend or development direction. Such expressions will sound strange to them, although they might be able to guess what you are saying. One way to write the sentence might be Figure 1 shows how sales fluctuated between 2010 and 2015. 3. Improper verb-noun collocation. For example, A. Children go to school to study or learn knowledge. B. They tried very hard but weren't able to improve the problem. In Chinese, it is typical to say 学知识 or 教知识, but in English, knowledge is neither learned nor taught. To put it another way, the word knowledge doesn't collocate with study or learn or teach. Instead, in the mind of the native speakers, knowledge is acquired by someone or imparted to someone or passed on to someone. When problem is used as the subject of a sentence, it often collocates with verbs such as arises, occurs, persists, grows, etc. If it is used as an object, verbs that collocate with it are often pose, encounter, look into, solve, etc. The word problem seldom collocates with improve. 4. Improper non-adjective collocation. For example, A. The consumption of fish was the most stable? B. Water used for agriculture was the largest or highest? C. The traffic in many big cities is getting more and more crowded. These sentences don't sound right. In the first sentence, consumption and stable don't usually collocate with each other. In the second sentence, water doesn't collocate with large or high, and in the third, traffic doesn't collocate with crowded. The correct collocations are respectively A. The levels of fish consumption were most stable. B. The amount of water used for agriculture was the largest or highest. C. The traffic in many big cities is getting heavier. As we can see, such collocation errors occur mostly because we're unfamiliar with the typical English collocations, and we're using Chinese grammar as a guidance in our use of English. These are just a few simple examples, but they show how easily such errors can occur if we are unfamiliar with the company certain words keep. Next, let's look at some of the ways that can help us learn collocations effectively. As we have learned, it is very important for English learners to familiar themselves with different kinds of collocations. Unfortunately, there is no easy way to learn collocations. It's sometimes hard to explain why two words go together. So more often than not, we just have to try and remember them. However, we offer a few suggestions below in hope of helping you cope with the acquisition of collocations. 1. Read and listen to as much English as possible. Exposing yourself to English is an excellent way to develop a feeling for it. You will learn collocations in context and naturally. 2. Beware of the existence of collocations and try to recognize them when you see or hear them. 3. Beware that Chinese collocations are likely different from their counterparts in English. For example, in Chinese, we say 浓茶, 浓妆, 浓烟, but their English equivalents are strong tea, heavy makeup, and thick smoke. On the other hand, in English, we say kill the car engine, kill time, kill one's appetite, kill the pain, but in Chinese, their equivalents are respectively 关掉汽车引擎, 消磨时间, 倒了某个人的胃口, 止痛. 4. Treat collocations as single units. For instance, think of strongly support as a whole unit, not strongly and support separately. These chunks are meaning units, just like words, so learn them as if they were one word. 5. When you are learning a new word, consider what other words may collocate with the new word. For instance, if you are learning the word remember, you can use a dictionary to find some adverbs that modify remember, such as rightly, distinctly, vaguely, vividly, fondly, etc. These collocates can come handy when you need to describe the manner in which you remember something. Lastly, it is also likely that you will pick up well-known collocations through writing or talking with native English speakers. Using collocations actively will help you memorize them and to learn how to use them more appropriately. As the saying goes, if you don't use it, you lose it. So much for this unit. Thank you for your attention.